Hi everyone, welcome to Code in Peace. I am Pratik, your host, and welcome to this channel again. So, in previous video, we have seen how does this Hello World program is written and what does these syntax, these things, these keywords are used for. So, and I have also given a question to you that you have to print this. So I hope you all have printed this, and if not, then I will provide the solution of this in description box. So go and check it out. So in today's video, we will discuss about variables and constant. So let me create a new file, variable var underscore const dot cpp. So, in this video today, we will see what is variable, how to define, and how does variable help us in our program, how does these declared, and how does these initialize, and what is constant, and how does it used for our program. So, just I am writing that basic structure of that C++ code. So just follow uh, IO stream, IO stream as include. Then I will use using namespace std, and you know what does these use for? What does there mean? So then I will use int main, and the code block starts here. Wait, code block starts here, and here now, what is variable? Variable is just like a container which store or holds value. Now container, as you see in your real life, are of different type. Like if you have to store some food items, so you usually use a airtight container. And if you have to use some use to store some sweets, then you use other type of storage unit, or we can say container, that is sweet box that made of cardboard. And if you have to store some rice or sugar, etc., so you use a steel or a plastic container. Like there are so many examples. I hope you can understand or relate it. So here also in programming, we use variable for storing our values. Different types of variable are used uh, for storing our value. So like variable also refers, sorry, variables are also be considered as like we can say a packet type. uh, Before the variable, we initialize our data type. So we will see what is data type, how many types of data type in next video. So first, let me initialize a basic variable like int. I am using int num is equals to 1. So this is our packet, which is known as, or we can say this is our container, name as num, just like that airtight container or just a sweet box. So here also I am storing this value 1 in this num named container. What is this int? You know, as previous from previous video, that it's data type. I am saying that whatever I will store in this is int, yani integer. This is a data type. We will discuss it later, how many types of data type and how they are useful for us and how to use them in different storing units. So first, I will use generally only int in this video. So this int num is equals to 1 is known as initialization with declaration. So here, if I write int num only, and I am not initializing this, I am just removing this. So this statement means I am declaring the variable, and if I store any value in that variable, that means I am initializing the value to this container named num. So is there any difference between declaration and initialization? Yes. What's the difference is this? The difference is like when we declare something, we usually give them a map, like uh, we can say we are like pointing that we are using this variable, or we are uh, fixing that variable, or we are fixing that container for using our integer type values. And if we write num is equals to 1, that means we are initializing that value. Initialization means we are giving the value to that container, we are storing that value to that variable. So I hope you all understand that what is variable, how does it use for, and what is difference between declaration and initialization. So now we can say that if we want to print this num variable, then we will simply use cout statement, which we have seen in our previous video. Just cout and type that variable name, and just use semicolon, and just we have to save this by pressing Ctrl S and just run. So will this code run? Just tell me if I am missing something, or something which I am writing wrong, or my syntax is incorrect. So just think of that for a few seconds. I am just waiting. So I hope you all think, or I hope you have noticed if anything, or if you have thought that it's correct. So let me tell you that it's not complete. By the way, it's complete. If I run this code, it will not throw any error. But in previous video, I have said that I am promising the main function that to return an integer, but I am not returning an integer. So that's a bad practice if I didn't return any integer value to this. So let me return 0 to it, and now I will run this code, and as you can see that yes, it is printing that same value which I have initialized to that num variable. So let me tell you something, that if you just remove this statement and try to run, will it run it? So it will let us see. Yes, it is run, but as I in previous video, as I told you that it's not a good practice to ignoring that return type. So just use that return statement for a good practice. So just use this. Now, if I thought that if I initialize this one, let my mind change that I have to change this value. So let's suppose if I want to change that value, and I use cn and this statement, this syntax, this sign to taking input from user. I take cin and just want to store that value into this num container and num variable. What does this use? First of all, when our code will execute it, it will move to this main function, and our compiler will see that a variable named num, that is int, is declared, and in second line our that num variable is initialized with value 1, and in third line we are taking an input which we are storing in that num container num variable, and then in fourth line we are outputting showing that output of that variable, and in fifth line we are returning it 0 to that main function. That means we are exiting the code successfully by successful execution. So if we run this code, then first of all our compiler will see that our variable is initialized by a value 1, and it want to take any input. So let me give input 5 and then press enter. Yes. What does it did? Initially our variable was initialized by 1, but when I entered the value 5, then the value of that variable got changed to 5, and when I print that statement, that variable, then our that changed value, or we can say updated value, was printed. So here our compiler or our user doesn't understand that what us is asking for. So we have to use one cout statement also before that inputting values. So I let me use cout value. Sorry, I used that wrong. Cout, that enter your value here, and I am using \n for new line character, or you other don't I will told you about this later, just ignoring it. and I have this use, and then I am saving it and I am running this code. Now it is asking for me that enter your value here. So I am entering 7 and here we go. It is returning 7 to me. Now let me introduce to end L or backslash n, which is called as new line or end of line. So if I use here backslash n, this means backslash is an escape sequence. We will discuss this later in videos. And n means new line. This escape sequence means whatever written after this backslash, that is n means new line, is just ignored for outputting on the screen. It is a special type of escape sequence. There are some reserved escape sequence we will discuss in later videos. So what does it really do? The function of this backslash n is to return a new line in our output. If I use this backslash n after this uh, uh, after this statement, then what will compiler do? It just read code here and it will output this same entire value here. And when it see that backslash n, then it will instantly go to a new line or next line, and then it will execute our next line. And then in next line, it will take output from user. Then in this code, the compiler will uh, want our input in next line, means, and in previous code, when we didn't use this backslash n, the compiler was taking want input here, and when we use backslash n, then the compiler was asking for input in next line. So what's the difference between this? And let me introduce to you the next, that is end l statement. And L and L also the same, and L also do the same task. When you want to enter, it will redirect to this next line or change next line. So the difference between this and L or backslash n is you can use backslash n inside the string. What the string? These are the string which is written in between the inverted commas. And what this end L do? End L can be used in both the cases, if we are not using a string or if we are using the string. In this case, we can use both, either backslash n or either end L. If let's suppose I want to see out in this, if I want to use backslash n this, then we don't have any option to use backslash n. We can use backslash n by using our string, that is we can mention this backslash n, then it will not show error. But either use this or instead of this you just use end l, both does the same. So now I hope you can understand both the things, difference between end l and backslash n. So let me move ahead to the next thing, that is constant. What is constant? So here, let's suppose, let me, okay, everything is set it up. So if I want to use constant, what does this constant use for? Let's suppose in our program, there is a variable named as pi, which is equals to, as you all know, you are from math background, pi value is 3.14. If a user come next to you, that he will if he try to change this value to something else, like if he use cin and he take the input from user, that is pi, and he is also printing that pi which is changed, got changed, that is pi and this. So when this code will be run, uh, wait, I have not initialized this. Yes, here's a one more catch, that is you cannot initialize the value to a variable before declaration. Means you must have to declare the variable first. After that you can initialize the value to it. Here in this case, why I got this error? Because I have not declared. Means I have not created a container. Before creating a container, I am just giving the value to that container which really don't exist. So compiler comes here and see pi is equals to 3.14. Then he try to search where pi is, what type of container is, what type of value does it store, and it found nothing. So here it gives an error. So for encountering this error, we will use data type. Now for at this time, you just ignore what I am using. Just remember just see what I am using of float. I will tell you later about many data types, but now at this stage you can listen to this float is that float usually used to store decimal values, means which consist of point values, or we can say which usually have decimal places. Float is also known as double. Double is kind of another data type. We can use float or double. It's our choice, whatever we want to use. But the difference, major difference between them is I will tell you in that lecture, which I made for data types. There's a difference for their size of storing and accurate precision basis. So let me run this code now. So here it is asking me, I have not see out anything before this taking input. Let me input like 3.18 and hitting enter. It is telling 3.18, means usually we got the error that anyone can change the universal constant value of pi from 3.14 to 3.18. That's not good for our program. So for tackling this, we use constant keyword. Keyword means I will tell you some few seconds later. We use 1 second, constant pi is equals to 3.14. Now if any user wants to change this, he cannot change. One mistake is this is const, not constant. Instead of constant, const. So we have to write its data type also. So const float pi equals to 3.14. If I run this code, then we see that error, that note previous declaration is float pi and conflicting declaration const float pi, means you are declaring this variable as constant, and in next line you want to change this value of constant. So are you compilers trying to say that, are you confused like what you have written over above, that you are declaring this variable, this variable pi as a constant, means you are fixing that variable's value to 3.14, and in next line you are trying to change that value. So either you don't have to change the value, or you have to remove that const keyword before that variable. So you have two ways to fix it. So in this case, no one wants to remove that const keyword from any universal constant. They usually avoid to take user input. So we just remove this, and now we will just removing this and trying to run this code again. So here we will not facing any issues here. So let me just exit this console and use end L for better view of output. When I run this code, and there you can see it is running successfully. So I hope you all can understand what does this where means variable and constant use for, and what does their syntax is. So I hope you can understand this. Now you have task to just take these two input as a in a variable, like two values in two variable, and you have to print both values by using a appropriate see out statement. So that's your task. You have to post this solution either in comment, or you have to just keep record of that homework solution. So we will meet in next session. So thank you for watching this, and I am signing off.